Welcome back to Motkamel Financial Track. In the previous lecture, we had started discussing the configuration for the general ledger system, and we're still pretty much on that. So right now we're gonna start talking about validation date, and this is basically used once while you're setting up the system for the first time in order to decide on the financial and the accounting periods that are going to be used in the facility. The closings, of course, will be performed based and according to these periods that you're going to set up. Then the financial position is identified, and also an assessment of the facility's activity during that period. The screen can be used in the way that basically fits the size and the type of the activity, and the financial and accounting periods chosen in the screen will be the base of identifying and proving the financial and accounting movements and transactions. So the system lets the user create financial periods within the year, however suits the business. You can start the financial periods monthly according to the dates of your choice. For example, the financial month can start on the 10th and end on the 9th. And well, of course, it's going to end on the 9th of the following month, and so on. So you will need to make sure that you're setting up the financial periods very accurately, because later on, actually, you're not going to be able to edit that in the future once you've used the system. So first, you need to select whether the financial period is going to be monthly or periodic. Monthly is pretty self-explanatory. The financial period starts at the 1st of the month and ends by the 30th or the 31st. But if you start the financial period on the 10th of the month, it will close on the 9th of the following month. Periodic, however, allows the user to select the exact start and end dates of the financial period. In to and from, you can enter these days, basically these dates, day, month, and year. And in this table, you will see the financial periods that make the financial year based on your entries. And now we have the column locked and the column closed. So locked basically stops the interactions during a certain period. That is, if you need to review your entries and transactions during that period. Closed, however, is used to close a period and consequently post all of the balances to the following financial period. Don't forget to save, of course, after you've accurately made your selections. We'll move on to accounts group screen. This one is used to create groups for accounts that sort of go together, so that later on when you enter the chart of accounts, you'll be able to see multiple accounts that belong to different main accounts, and they will be all in one group. That is if they go together, of course, or if the kind of activity that is on these accounts is sort of linked. This is an optional screen, by the way, so you're not obligated to collect a bunch of accounts together in the same group, but if you're going to use it, well, you can do that. So for example, you can create a group for all of your vendors' accounts or customers' accounts, and this creates a type of accounts that basically go together, and later on you can view reports for these separate accounts, like trial balance based on the group, of course. So it's basically like you're creating types for your accounts. To use the screen, first you will click on add. The group number is going to be added automatically. Enter the group name. And as for shareholders, it's a variable that you can activate if you're creating a group for your shareholders' accounts. Do not forget to save also before you exit, so that your changes would not be discarded. Now we'll move on to the screen cost center groups, and this works exactly like the previous screen, but the difference here obviously is that you're creating a group of cost centers that go together. This is also optional. You're not obligated to collect a few cost centers together in one group. To use this screen and create a cost centers group, click on add. Group number is going to be automatic. You will just need to enter the group name, and that's it. Also, don't forget to save so that you can use this group and view reports for the cost centers that you've collected in it. Next screen is going to be journal voucher types. This screen is activated based on the variable using multi-journal voucher documents, which was in the configuration in the General Ledger system, the tab options, and we went through this one before. This screen is used to create journal voucher types. You can code several journal voucher types so that you can divide them into, for example, general journal vouchers or closing journal vouchers, or any type that helps you navigate them better. When you classify your journal vouchers into types, you will be able to link them or to link each new journal voucher to a specific type. So each of those types will have a different sequence from the other types, although you will have the option to put them all under the same sequence. Creating different types also helps the user later on view reports based on the type. So if you want to go ahead and create a new type, just click on Add, enter the name, and document number is going to be automatic. And in serial number, you can select whether you want a new sequence for this type or if you want to add it to an existing sequence. If, for example, we select serial number 1 for this type and we have already selected serial number 1 for an older type, then both of them will have the same sequence. If you want to create a new sequence for this type, then just enter number 2 or 3. So we have 3 remaining variables in this screen, and they're all about taxes. First, we have VAT correction, and this one is activated if the type of the journal voucher that you're creating is going to be used to fix the difference between the value of the taxes in tax return and the value of the taxes in the tax accounts, whether it's an increase or a decrease. So that is for the first variable. As for the second one, it's going to be advanced import VAT. This one is used if the journal voucher you're creating is related to the value added tax, which is paid in advance, and that's kind of like what you pay for costumes in case your goods are imported, and in case also costumes apply in your country to pay that kind of costumes. The last variable here is advanced VAT calculation, and you can use this variable when you're creating a type of journal vouchers that is concerned with reversed calculation for tax in case you need that, like for example the VAT that the customer pays instead of the vendor, or in case you don't pay VAT in costumes. This is basically everything that we're going to talk about today. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and thank you so much for watching.